Introduction. The power of radical candor. What does it mean to lead with honesty and kindness? How do we balance tough love with genuine care in the workplace? These questions lie at the heart of Radical Candor by Kim Scott, a transformative guide to building relationships, fostering trust, and achieving exceptional results as a leader. At its core, Radical Candor explores the delicate art of giving feedback that is both direct and empathetic, a skill that not only enhances individual performance but also strengthens team dynamics. Scott argues that true leadership transcends traditional hierarchical structures. Instead, it thrives on authenticity, mutual respect, and a willingness to engage in meaningful dialogue, even when the conversations are challenging. The philosophy of radical candor is built upon two foundational principles: care personally and challenge directly. Together, these principles create a framework for leaders to foster open communication, constructive criticism, and personal growth within their teams. By embracing radical candor, managers can help their employees reach their full potential while simultaneously cultivating a work environment where trust and collaboration flourish. This book is more than a collection of leadership tips. It is a call to action for managers to rethink how they approach feedback in relationships. With practical tools like the Get Stuff Done, GSD, Wheel, and the Radical Candor Quadrants, Scott equips readers with actionable strategies to navigate the complexities of team dynamics. As we delve into the 6 chapters of this audiobook, we will explore the key lessons and practical takeaways from Radical Candor. From mastering the art of feedback to building a culture of mutual accountability, each chapter is designed to provide valuable insights into how leaders can transform their teams and themselves through radical candor. Whether you are an experienced leader, an aspiring manager, or simply someone striving to improve interpersonal relationships, this book offers a fresh perspective on leadership rooted in compassion and candor. The journey begins with a commitment to care, a willingness to challenge, and the courage to communicate openly. Let us embark on this exploration of radical candor, where honesty meets empathy and leadership transforms lives. Chapter 1. Care personally, challenge directly. At the heart of radical candor lies a simple yet powerful principle: care personally, challenge directly. This dual approach, as Kim Scott explains, is the foundation for effective leadership and meaningful workplace relationships. While these ideas may seem intuitive, striking the right balance between care and challenge is often easier said than done. To care personally means to view team members as whole individuals, not just as employees or contributors to a business objective. It requires genuine empathy and an investment in their well-being, goals, and growth. Scott emphasizes that when leaders show that they care, their feedback is more likely to be received positively. A manager who takes the time to understand a team member's motivations, challenges, and aspirations creates an environment where feedback feels like an act of support rather than criticism. However, caring personally is only half the equation. Leaders must also challenge directly by delivering honest, constructive feedback that helps individuals improve and grow. Without this component, care risks becoming ruinous empathy, where a desire to protect someone's feelings leads to avoidance of necessary critique. In such cases, growth is stifled, and performance issues go unresolved. Direct challenges, when delivered with care, ensure that feedback is not only truthful but also actionable. Balancing these elements can be tricky, especially for managers who fear confrontation or struggle with communication. Yet, Scott argues that failing to challenge directly does a disservice to both the individual and the team. Constructive feedback, when framed as an opportunity for improvement, becomes a tool for empowerment rather than a source of conflict. It fosters trust, as team members see that their leader is invested in their success. Scott provides practical advice for cultivating this balance. Begin by building trust through personal connections. Take the time to ask about team members' lives outside of work and listen attentively. Once this foundation is established, practice giving feedback in a way that is both specific and kind. For example, instead of vague praise like "good job," offer details. "Your presentation today was clear and engaging, particularly the way you outlined the data." Similarly, when offering critique, focus on behaviors rather than personal attributes. "I noticed the report was late. Let's discuss how we can adjust the timeline to meet deadlines in the future." Ultimately, radical candor is not a one-time act but a continuous process of nurturing relationships and fostering growth. It requires vulnerability, courage, and consistency. By caring personally and challenging directly, leaders create a culture where honesty thrives, and everyone is motivated to perform at their best. As Scott notes, radical candor is not just about feedback, It is about building trust and helping others achieve their potential. Chapter 2. The Get Stuff Done GSD Wheel. Kim Scott introduces the Get Stuff Done GSD Wheel as a framework to streamline decision-making and enhance team productivity. This 7-step process is designed to minimize wasted time in meetings, promote clarity in discussions, and ensure that decisions are both thoughtful and actionable. By following the GSD wheel, leaders can create an environment where ideas flow freely, debates are constructive, and implementation is efficient. Step 1. Listen. Listening actively is the foundation of the GSD wheel. Leaders must create a space where team members feel safe sharing ideas, including concerns and challenges. This requires asking open-ended questions and responding with curiosity rather than defensiveness. As Scott notes, don't let teams give you only good news. Encouraging honest communication fosters trust and helps leaders uncover potential roadblocks early. Step 2. Clarify. Once ideas are shared, the next step is to clarify them. This involves refining concepts through brainstorming and one-on-one discussions until they are clear and actionable. Ambiguity often leads to miscommunication and stalled progress, so ensuring that everyone understands the core objectives is crucial. Step 3. Debate. Healthy debate is at the heart of good decision-making. By allowing team members to challenge each other's ideas openly, leaders create a culture where the best solutions can emerge. Scott emphasizes that debates should be structured and respectful, focusing on the merits of the ideas rather than personal differences. Step 4. Decide. After thorough debate, it's time to make a decision. Effective leaders avoid letting discussions drag on indefinitely. Instead, they gather all relevant facts, weigh options, and choose a path forward collaboratively. This step ensures that decisions are based on objective reasoning rather than personal biases. Step 5. Persuade. Even after a decision is made, some team members may disagree. Persuasion is key to achieving alignment and buy-in. Scott advises leaders to use logic, data, and clear communication to explain the rationale behind decisions. This step is critical for maintaining team cohesion and ensuring everyone works toward the same goal. Step 6. Implement. Once the team is aligned, the plan must be put into action. Leaders play an active role in implementation by removing obstacles, providing resources, and offering support. Importantly, leaders should avoid micromanaging. Their focus should be on enabling the team to execute efficiently and effectively. Step 7. Learn. The final step is to learn from the process. Every project offers lessons, whether through successes or mistakes. Leaders should encourage the team to reflect on what went well and what could be improved. This fosters a culture of continuous learning and adaptability. The GSD wheel is not just a tool for decision-making, it is a philosophy that prioritizes collaboration, transparency, and accountability. By integrating these 7 steps into their leadership approach, managers can build teams that are more productive, innovative, and resilient. As Scott observes, the GSD wheel helps teams not just get stuff done, but get the right stuff done. Chapter 3. Identifying Rockstars and Superstars. One of the most compelling insights in Radical Candor is the distinction between 2 types of employees critical to team success: rockstars and superstars. Understanding the unique attributes, motivations, and career trajectories of these individuals enables leaders to effectively manage their teams and maximize productivity. Rockstars, the steady performers. Rockstars are consistent high performers who provide stability and reliability to the team. They excel in their current roles, delivering exceptional results without necessarily seeking rapid career advancement. Rockstars thrive on mastery, focusing on improving their skills and contributing to the long-term success of the organization. They are the backbone of any team, ensuring that day-to-day operations run smoothly. For example, a rock star in a marketing team might consistently produce high-quality campaigns and mentor junior employees, enhancing team efficiency and cohesion. Leaders should recognize the value of their dependability and provide them with opportunities to deepen their expertise, such as advanced training or mentorship roles. Superstars, the growth-oriented innovators. In contrast, superstars are ambitious individuals driven by a desire for rapid growth and new challenges. They often push boundaries, explore uncharted territories, and bring innovative ideas to the table. Superstars thrive in dynamic environments where they can pursue steep career trajectories and take on significant responsibilities. A superstar in a tech team, for instance, might spearhead a groundbreaking project, integrating cutting-edge technologies to revolutionize a product line. For such individuals, leaders should create pathways for upward mobility, offering stretch assignments, leadership opportunities, or cross-functional projects that align with their aspirations. Balancing rock stars and superstars. Both rock stars and superstars are essential for a well-functioning team. Rock stars ensure consistency and reliability, while superstars drive innovation and change. However, managing these two groups requires different approaches. Leaders must resist the urge to compare rock stars and superstars directly. Doing so risks undervaluing the contributions of rock stars, whose steady work is often less visible but equally important. Conversely, superstars must be given the freedom to explore new ideas without being constrained by rigid expectations. Scott emphasizes the importance of aligning roles with individual motivations. For instance, while a rock star might prefer recognition for their expertise and opportunities to mentor others, a superstar may thrive on rapid promotions and high-visibility projects. Understanding these preferences enables leaders to tailor their management strategies and foster long-term engagement. The importance of growth management plans. A key takeaway from Scott's framework is the need for personalized growth management plans. Leaders should regularly engage in one-on-one conversations to understand their team members' goals, motivations, and preferred growth trajectories. These discussions help identify whether an individual leans toward the rockstar or superstar archetype and ensures that their needs are met accordingly. For example, a rockstar might benefit from specialized training in their field, while a superstar might be energized by a high-stakes project that showcases their talents. By aligning opportunities with individual aspirations, leaders can create an environment where every team member feels valued and empowered. Harnessing the best of both worlds. Rock stars and superstars bring different strengths to the table, and both are indispensable for achieving team success. By identifying and nurturing these unique contributions, leaders can build a team that is both innovative and resilient. As Scott aptly notes, the key to great leadership is not treating everyone the same, but treating everyone fairly. Chapter 4. Embracing feedback as a two-way street. One of the central tenets of Radical Candor is the importance of fostering a culture of open and honest communication. While providing feedback is critical, equally important is the ability to receive it with grace and humility. In this chapter, Kim Scott highlights how accepting feedback can enhance leadership, strengthen relationships, and create a culture of continuous improvement. Seeking feedback as a leader. Scott emphasizes that leaders must actively seek feedback from their teams, even when it may be uncomfortable. This practice not only helps leaders identify blind spots but also models the behavior they wish to see in others. By demonstrating openness to criticism, leaders signal that feedback is a valued and integral part of the organizational culture. For instance, Scott suggests asking direct questions, such as, "What's one thing I could do differently to support you better?" Or "Is there anything I should stop doing that's hindering our progress?" These specific and actionable prompts make it easier for team members to share honest feedback without fear of reprisal. To encourage participation, leaders should respond constructively, avoiding defensiveness or dismissiveness. When team members see their feedback taken seriously, they are more likely to engage in future discussions and offer valuable insights. Creating a feedback loop. Feedback is most effective when it is part of a continuous cycle rather than a one-off occurrence. Scott advocates for establishing regular channels for communication, such as one-on-one meetings or structured feedback sessions. These forums provide a safe space for team members to share their thoughts and ideas openly. Scott also recommends introducing 360-degree feedback systems, which allow individuals to receive input from peers, subordinates, and superiors alike. This comprehensive approach ensures that feedback is balanced and reflects diverse perspectives, promoting self-awareness and professional growth. An example of this might include implementing a feedback tool that anonymizes responses, making it easier for employees to share candid observations without fear of judgment. Overcoming barriers to feedback. Despite its importance, seeking and receiving feedback is not always easy. Many employees hesitate to offer critical feedback to their managers, fearing potential consequences or misinterpretation. Leaders must proactively address these concerns by creating an environment of psychological safety. Scott advises leaders to normalize feedback through consistent practice. For example, sharing personal experiences of how feedback helped improve a project or decision can illustrate its value. Similarly, leaders should reward team members for providing honest input, reinforcing the idea that constructive criticism is an act of trust and collaboration. Additionally, Scott suggests using humor to diffuse tension in difficult conversations. A lighthearted comment can ease discomfort and encourage openness, paving the way for more meaningful exchanges. Learning from feedback. Receiving feedback is only the first step. What leaders do with it is what truly matters. Scott highlights the importance of turning feedback into actionable changes. By demonstrating a willingness to learn and adapt, leaders reinforce their commitment to growth and set a powerful example for their teams. For instance, if a manager receives feedback about being overly critical during meetings, they might implement changes such as focusing on positives before addressing challenges or asking questions to clarify rather than criticize. Following up on feedback by sharing progress and outcomes with the team closes the loop and validates their contributions. Building a feedback culture. A culture of radical candor thrives on mutual respect and trust. When feedback flows freely in both directions, teams become more cohesive, innovative, and effective. Leaders who embrace feedback not only improve their own performance but also empower their teams to achieve collective success. As Scott wisely observes, feedback isn't just a gift, it's the key to unlocking potential. By fostering open communication and making feedback a cornerstone of team dynamics, leaders can cultivate an environment where everyone feels heard, valued, and motivated to grow. Chapter 5: Building Trust and Long-Term Relationships. At the heart of radical candor lies the belief that trust is the foundation of effective leadership and high-performing teams. Building genuine, lasting relationships with team members is not just a means to an end, it's the essence of creating an environment where individuals thrive and collective success flourishes. The power of personal care. Kim Scott emphasizes that trust begins with demonstrating authentic care for team members. Caring personally is not about superficial gestures. It's about understanding the unique needs, goals, and challenges of each individual on your team. This starts with getting to know your team members beyond their professional roles. Take the time to ask meaningful questions about their aspirations, interests, and concerns. For example, instead of merely discussing deadlines during one-on-ones, explore their career goals or the skills they want to develop. When leaders show genuine interest in their team members' well-being, they create a sense of psychological safety, a space where individuals feel valued and supported. This personal connection strengthens trust and paves the way for honest communication. Consistency and integrity. Trust is built over time through consistent actions and alignment between words and deeds. Scott underscores the importance of following through on commitments and maintaining transparency, even in challenging situations. For instance, if a leader promises to address workload concerns raised by the team, they must take tangible steps to resolve the issue. Failure to act erodes trust, while consistent follow-through reinforces credibility. Similarly, admitting mistakes and taking accountability when things go wrong demonstrates humility and fosters a culture of openness. Leading by example. Scott argues that trust is not demanded, it is earned through behavior that inspires confidence. Leaders who embody the principles of radical candor, caring personally and challenging directly, set a powerful example for their teams. This includes modeling behaviors such as giving and receiving feedback, prioritizing fairness, and upholding shared values. For example, if a leader expects team members to engage in honest debates, they must also be willing to receive constructive criticism without defensiveness. By practicing what they preach, leaders build credibility and cultivate trust. Mutual respect and collaboration. Trust is a two-way street. Scott highlights that leaders must respect their team members' expertise and autonomy, empowering them to take ownership of their work. Micromanagement undermines trust, while delegation and support signal confidence in an individual's abilities. Encouraging collaboration also strengthens relationships within the team. Leaders should create opportunities for team members to work together on challenging projects, celebrate successes, and learn from failures as a group. This shared experience fosters camaraderie and mutual respect, building a cohesive team dynamic. Addressing challenges without eroding trust. Even in a trusting relationship, conflicts and challenges are inevitable. The way leaders handle these moments can either reinforce or damage the trust they've built. Scott advises addressing issues promptly and constructively, avoiding blame or defensiveness. For instance, when providing feedback on a mistake, frame the conversation around growth rather than fault. Highlight the learning opportunities and offer support to prevent similar issues in the future. By focusing on solutions rather than criticisms, leaders demonstrate their commitment to their team members' success. Investing in long-term relationships. Building trust is not a one-time effort, it requires ongoing investment and care. Scott emphasizes the importance of maintaining relationships even as team members move to new roles or organizations. Staying connected shows that the relationship was built on genuine care rather than convenience. For example, sending a quick note of encouragement to a former team member or celebrating their achievements in a new role keeps the connection alive. These gestures not only enrich personal relationships but also strengthen professional networks over time. The ripple effect of trust. When trust is at the core of a team, it creates a ripple effect that transforms the entire work environment. Teams with strong relationships are more resilient, collaborative, and innovative. They are more willing to take risks, challenge the status quo, and pursue ambitious goals because they know they have each other's support. Scott reminds us that trust is both the foundation and the outcome of radical candor. By caring personally, challenging directly, and investing in relationships, leaders create a culture where trust thrives and everyone succeeds together. Chapter 6. Fostering a Culture of Radical Candor. Kim Scott's Radical Candor culminates in a call to action, creating an organizational culture where care, feedback, and trust are embedded in every interaction. This final chapter explores how leaders can scale the principles of radical candor beyond individual relationships to transform teams and organizations into vibrant, high-performing ecosystems. Start at the top. A culture of radical candor begins with leadership. Leaders set the tone for the entire organization through their behavior, communication, and decision-making. If leaders model caring personally and challenging directly, it creates a ripple effect that permeates the company. Scott emphasizes the importance of vulnerability and humility in leadership. By openly admitting mistakes, actively seeking feedback, and showing a willingness to grow, leaders demonstrate that radical candor is not just for their teams but also for themselves. This authenticity inspires others to follow suit. Make feedback a norm, not an exception. To build a culture of radical candor, feedback must become an integral part of daily operations. Leaders should create opportunities for feedback to flow freely in all directions, upward, downward, and peer-to-peer. For instance, implement regular feedback sessions where employees feel safe to share their thoughts. These can take the form of structured one-on-ones, team retrospectives, or anonymous surveys. It's also essential to normalize giving feedback in real time rather than waiting for formal reviews. Timely feedback ensures that issues are addressed before they escalate and that successes are celebrated while they're still fresh. Encouraging peer-to-peer feedback is another critical step. When colleagues openly share constructive advice, it strengthens collaboration and accountability across the team. Leaders can facilitate this by introducing tools or frameworks that make feedback exchanges easier, such as feedback templates or role-playing exercises. Celebrate radical candor. Recognizing and rewarding behavior aligned with radical candor reinforces its importance. When employees demonstrate caring and challenging behaviors, celebrate their actions publicly to show that these values are integral to the organization's culture. For example, create a Candor in Action Award to honor team members who have successfully navigated difficult feedback conversations or resolved conflicts constructively. Sharing stories of radical candor in action highlights its positive impact and motivates others to embrace it. Train and develop your team. Implementing radical candor requires intentional effort and skill development. Scott suggests investing in training programs to equip employees with the tools and confidence to practice radical candor effectively. Workshops on active listening, giving and receiving feedback, and handling difficult conversations can help teams build their feedback muscles. Role-playing scenarios are particularly effective for practicing radical candor in a safe environment. For instance, team members can simulate challenging conversations, such as delivering critical feedback or addressing interpersonal conflicts, with guidance from a facilitator. These exercises not only build confidence but also foster empathy by allowing participants to experience feedback from multiple perspectives. Address resistance and missteps. Adopting radical candor may be uncomfortable at first, and some employees might resist the change. Leaders must address this resistance with empathy, acknowledging that building trust and fostering openness takes time. It's also inevitable that mistakes will happen. Feedback may come across as too harsh or too vague, and misunderstandings may arise. Scott advises leaders to treat these missteps as learning opportunities. For example, if a feedback session goes poorly, follow up with the involved parties to reflect on what went wrong and how to improve next time. Institutionalize radical candor. Embedding radical candor into organizational processes ensures its sustainability. Incorporate its principles into performance evaluations, leadership development programs, and company values. For example, include feedback skills as a core competency in job descriptions and promotion criteria. Leaders can also use tools to track progress and measure the impact of radical candor on team dynamics and performance. Surveys, metrics, and regular check-ins provide valuable insights into how well the culture is evolving and where additional support may be needed. The long-term impact. When radical candor becomes a cultural norm, it unlocks the full potential of an organization. Teams are more engaged, innovation thrives, and trust becomes the foundation for every interaction. Employees feel valued for who they are and are motivated to bring their best selves to work each day. Scott reminds us that creating a culture of radical candor is not a one-time initiative, it's an ongoing journey. By caring personally, challenging directly, and fostering open communication at every level, leaders can transform their organizations into places where people and ideas flourish. Conclusion: embracing radical candor as a way of life. Kim Scott's Radical Candor offers a compelling framework for leaders and organizations to achieve extraordinary results through authentic relationships and open communication. At its core, the book is a call to balance two essential human qualities: care and candor. By embracing these principles, leaders can create an environment where individuals thrive, teams excel, and innovation flourishes. The power of caring personally and challenging directly. The foundation of radical candor lies in the delicate balance of caring personally and challenging directly. This balance fosters trust, mutual respect, and a shared commitment to growth. Leaders who practice radical candor inspire their teams to embrace feedback, take accountability, and strive for continuous improvement. Through real-world examples and actionable insights, Scott illustrates that feedback, when delivered with empathy and clarity, becomes a powerful tool for empowerment rather than criticism. By showing genuine concern for individuals while encouraging them to push beyond their limits, leaders unlock their team's potential. A blueprint for organizational excellence. Radical candor is not just a tool for individual relationships, it's a blueprint for building a high-performing culture. From fostering open feedback loops to creating a safe space for debate, Scott provides leaders with practical strategies to embed radical candor into the fabric of their organizations. Key concepts like the Get Stuff Done wheel, the Care Personally and Challenge Directly matrix, and the distinction between rock stars and superstars offer leaders valuable frameworks for decision-making, talent management, and communication. Overcoming challenges along the way. Implementing radical candor is not without its challenges. Resistance, misunderstandings, and the discomfort of giving or receiving feedback are natural hurdles. However, these challenges are opportunities for growth and learning. By addressing setbacks with humility and persistence, leaders can guide their teams through the transition to a culture of openness and trust. The transformative impact. At its best, radical candor transforms not only workplaces but also the individuals within them. It creates teams where everyone feels valued, empowered, and motivated to contribute their best. It fosters resilience, adaptability, and creativity, qualities essential for navigating today's complex and fast-paced world. Scott's vision is one of workplaces where relationships are not transactional but deeply human. By embracing radical candor, leaders and teams can achieve a shared sense of purpose and connection that transcends professional boundaries. A call to action. The journey toward radical candor starts with a single conversation. Whether it's offering thoughtful feedback, seeking input on your leadership style, or simply showing genuine care for a team member, every step brings you closer to a culture of openness and excellence. As you move forward, remember that radical candor is not a destination but a continuous practice. By committing to care personally and challenge directly, you can lead with authenticity, inspire others, and drive meaningful change in your workplace and beyond.